Hi, third graders. I'm in the classroom with our Open Courts book again. Love this book so much. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it this school year. We only have one more story this school year that we're going to read. This book is so thick and we didn't get to all of the stories because we only do one story every 2 weeks. But you guys have this book now at your house with you. So you guys can be reading all of the time out of this book before you go to bed. Just look through this, actually fun. I highly recommend go to the back of the book, find a story we haven't read yet. There's some really good ones in here. Remember when we talked about Coco's Kitten? Coco's Kitten, the story is in our book. So many good stories. So you guys go through the book and just have fun with it with your family, especially right before you go to bed at night. Just read stories for fun because that's what reading should be. Reading should just be enjoyable and fun. It should be something that you want to do because you love getting into a story. I know it's pretty easy just to turn to video games or to TV, but I'm telling you guys 2 things. 1, readers are leaders, and the more you read, the more knowledge you have, the better you are at being a good leader. And 2, that stories are actually exciting and interesting. And when you start to read more often, you'll start to develop a real love for reading. So you guys are going to be excited this week because our story that we have that we're going to be doing really just for 1 week, because next week is the last week of school and we're going to do some fun things. It's just 1 page. Can you believe it? Our story, look at it. It just takes up this 1 page. And the reason why that is because it's something called a fable. A fable, F-A-B-L-E. Do you guys know what a fable is? Have you ever heard of the word fable before? Well, a fable is actually a short story. So when you're reading fables, you're not going to read anything super long. You're going to read something short. And the really cool thing about fables is they usually involve animals as characters. So if you love animals, you're going to love fables. And they usually have a moral to them. Do you guys know what the word moral is? M-O-R-A-L. What does moral mean? Moral means a lesson. So not only are these stories short, not only do they have animals, but they also have a cool lesson for life in them. Always at the end, you find out what the lesson was. And so I'm going to read you our story for this week. You're going to hear the name Aesop, and you might be wondering, who is Aesop? Well, Aesop was a person who was believed to have written a bunch of fables, and now the stories are so popular today, and they're still told over and over and over. Okay, so our story this week is called The Milkmaid and Her Pail. And I'm going to read the story to you, and I want you to figure out what the lesson is behind this story. All right. A farmer's daughter had finished milking the cows, and she was carrying the pail of milk on her head. And as she walked along, she slowly started to daydream. The milk in this pail will provide me with cream. I will make the cream into butter, and I will take it to the market to sell. And with that money, I will buy some eggs, and then those eggs will hatch into chickens. And then I'm going to sell those chickens, and with the money that I get from that, I'm going to buy myself a beautiful new dress, which I'm going to wear to a dance. All the young fellas are then going to admire me and think I'm so great, and they're going to want to dance with me. But I'll just toss my head and have nothing to say to them. At this, she forgot all about that pail on her head, and imagining herself at the dance, she tossed her head down, and then down went the pail. The milk spilled out all over the ground, and all her fine plans just vanished in a moment. Okay, guys, first of all, this fable did not involve animals, but there's actually some animals in the picture, so they still have animals. I also sent you another fable that does have animals, but you guys, why do you think that she spilled her milk, and what do you think is the lesson behind this story? Okay, you were right. She spilled her milk because she wasn't paying attention. She started to daydream. And the lesson behind this fable is, do not count your chickens before they are hatched. Do not count your chickens before they are hatched. What does that mean? It means don't start talking about an event and bragging about that event and making a big deal about it if you don't really know that it's going to happen, because in the end, it might not happen. So, for example, if you came to school and told everybody at school that you're going to have this huge party at your house and you're going to have a bounce house and a slide and video games and ice cream and all these things, but you haven't even talked to your mom or dad yet, and you haven't even gotten their approval that it's really gonna happen yet, then what's gonna happen is gonna be a big letdown. And if you didn't ask your parents and they say no, then you have to go back and tell everybody, sorry, we can't have that party. So saying don't talk about something unless you know it's really gonna happen. Especially, okay, this is another one. If you're in sports and you're getting ready to do a soccer championship and you get on the field and you're like, we're gonna win today. And then when we're done winning, we're gonna have ice cream and we're gonna have a huge party and everyone's gonna come over to my house and we're gonna celebrate and we're gonna get championship t-shirts and we're gonna get this huge trophy. And then you get out on the field and then you end up losing the game. It's like, just go out there and play the game and do the best you can before you start bragging about everything that's gonna happen, because that's what happened to this milk maiden. She started talking about and bragging about the boys that were gonna see her and the dress she was gonna buy and all the great things that were gonna happen, the money she was gonna get, before she even just took care of the milk first that was on her head. All right, you guys are gonna really love fables, again, because they're short stories. You're gonna have no problem reading this story with your family. On the live, we're also gonna read the story again, so tune in and we're gonna read it and talk about it. And then we'll go over some of the questions together in the next video. All right, you guys, enjoy fables. They're really, really fun.